This is the ham. Came off the rear end. You can see it's got a lot of fat on it. You do not want that. This right here is going to be some good eating, this particular piece of the animal. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to trim all this off that I can. And I'll get all that silver skin too. Okay. You can take a fillet knife and get down in there. All these are going to come off in muscle groups. Because see this line right here comes down to the shin. There is a bone, the long bone that is in there. I'm going to debone this. I'm going to take the bone out of it and separate the muscles. See, there's the ball socket right there, the end of it. I will go in here, take that bone out, and then separate the muscle groups. And I will be slicing it up into steaks and run it through the tenderizer that I showed you the other day. Now it used to be I would take it to the butcher and just have him slice through it this way, all the way, bone and everything. He'd run it through a saw, and you end up with round steak basically. But I'm gonna separate out each one. There's going to be some scraps left. I'm going to put it in this bowl here that I have, that I'm going to make my ground, I almost said ground beef, but the ground deer out of it. Let me get a little further along with this, and alright y'all, I'll show you what. If you can see the muscles, the different muscles in here, and I'm going to go in here. You can almost go in here with your hands. And I'm going to cut these different muscles out. Like I say, this fat that I have taken off of this, you can render it down if you know you had a mind to. You can make candles out of it. See how those muscles are stuck together? So you can just about go in there with your hands and separate them out of there, which is what I'm going to be doing. Some of this will be ground. This silver skin that separates the muscles and holds them, once I slice it, I'll go back and trim it off because it's tough as a boot and you don't really want it. If you wanted to take it all off along the back, you can get it and you make bowstrings out of it. Like I say, you can render the fat down and make candles. It's a lubricant. But that's what I'm going to be doing. And then I'm going to take and slice it up and run it through the meat grinder. Each one of these muscles, the scraps will go into that bucket over there for I'm trying to think and do this at the same time. For ground meat, but most of this will become steak and we'll tenderize it. You can fry it, you can smother it, you can do whatever you want to do with it. Some people like roast. I just feel like I get more out of it when I make steaks. All I'm doing is going around this bone here. See, this right here, this piece here would make a nice roast, but I'm not into roast. I'm into fried. I'll take it and slice it this way, then I'll trim off that silver skin. There's the bone right there, and all these little pieces where I didn't get real close to the bone, that'll all come off. Okay, and go in there for ground meat. I don't want to bore y'all to death with this. Just wanted to show you the basic way I go about it. There's a lot of videos out there, and a lot of people know a whole lot more about it than I do. But that's what I do. I just separate it off into the different muscles, and you can see there's several muscles here hooked together. It's important to have a sharp knife. I'll take this bone out. And then separate the muscles. And I'm not going to waste a bunch of your time and my trying to be delicate. Because there's a shin bone right here that I'm going to have to fight a little bit. This will be a big muscle group here that'll come off. Okay, each one of these will be run through the meat tenderizer that I showed you the other day, and may make another video on the grinding portion to show you what you end up with, because it ends up being pretty ground meat. But I try not to waste any of the animal. But basically, that's it. I don't know how I'm going to splice all this together, but see this? This is the bone in the garbage. You can slice that bone up and make different things out of it. Like I say, you can melt the fat. I ain't doing all that. Then I have the different muscle groups. Let me show you what these muscles look like. I take the larger muscles and I cut them, and I'll be running them, most of them, through the meat grinder. Excuse me, the meat tenderizer. Cut them about 3/4 of an inch to it or so, and just slice through it like this. The scraps, let me show you what you end up with. Just a gorgeous piece of meat. It goes through the meat grinder. There's no fat there. And I mean the meat, I keep saying grinder, tenderizer. And that'll fry up or smother down however you like to eat it. Okay. And here's another one. Take a look at it. The more connective tissue you have, the tougher the meat's going to be. But off the hindquarter, see, that's some primo stuff there. You run that through the meat tenderizer, and like I say, you don't have to run it through there, but you just have to cook it a long time. When you fry it, you don't have to cook it near as long. But that's the way a shade tree butchers a piece of meat. And once it goes through that tenderizer, it covers up a lot of my mistakes. See that? That'd be good for frying or smothering down like you would a round steak. Excellent. And I'll trim it up, and what I trim off will go in with the ground meat. You can tell if it's going to be good just by kind of feeling that it's tender or tough. And I'll do that with the rest. I wanted to show you some of these bigger pieces of meat. I'll splice this into the film somewhere. See that? Just, this is for son of a bitch. See how that does? It tenderizes it. You can smother it down now, or you can fry it. Cut it into a couple pieces and fry it, or have one big piece. It's pre-chewed. Some of these smaller pieces, see that? That's primo. This right here, I failed to tell you yesterday, you can take that off and put an electric motor on there. This is good meat and good for you. You can fry it up a little bit and then make a gravy. Throw them back in there and just let them cook real slow all day long if you like it smothered with onions and whatnot. Great piece of meat. All right.